Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, let me introduce myself. My name is Yusnita Anggraini. Student number 2205030022. I am from PBI Parsi. Here I will explain the syntax definition from chapter 1 to chapter 5. English syntax is one of the compulsory courses for the English department at FPSUNM or also at other universities. This English syntax book is a learning material or teaching material which includes definition and classification of words, types of phrase, clause, and sentence. This English syntax book includes knowledge of language and linguistic theories as well as grammar and linguistic knowledge, which is part of the English syntax course. This English syntax book is very helpful for students in the learning and teaching process because in this book the teaching material are adapted to the curriculum and syllabus for students of the English department. This book consists of 5 chapters. The first chapter discusses the classification of words and types of words along with example. Chapter 2 phrase and types of phrase. Chapter 3 clause, which discusses the definition and types of clause. Chapter 4 sentence, that discuss the definition and types of sentence. Chapter 5 the grammatical function, which discusses the function of the subject, verb, and object. The classification of words divided into 2 main categories, namely class words and function words. The classification is consistent based on the form. Word classes can be further divided into: the first is a noun, the second is a verb, the third is an adjective, and the fourth is an adverb. So, these 4 classes of words are called parts of speech. Other words that are not included in the 4 parts of speech are called function words, namely words that do not have lexical meaning. These function words always appear with parts of speech to form phrase. A word class contain words are usually nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Those are the words that help us form image in our heads. They give us the meat of our story and tell our listener where to focus their attention. According to Bloomfield, words are the smallest language unit that has meaning. For example, I is a word because they have meaning. Noun is a word used to denote a person. Nouns can be expanded into noun phrases. In the phrase example below the noun in the first example and the noun phrase in the next example, notice how much the noun phrase can be expanded by adding additional information each time. Example, type of noun pronouns. Pronouns are used in place of already mentioned are noun nouns, often to avoid repetition of the noun. For example, Kate was tired, so she went to bed. Michael took the children with him. Verb is verb. A verb is a word that is characteristically the grammatical counter of a predicate and expresses an action, event, or mode of extension, which in various languages is invested for citability, for subject, for time, for voice, for mood, or for aspect, and usually has a fairly complete descriptive meaning and characterization quality, but sometimes has almost no descriptive meaning, especially when used as an auxiliary or linking verb. For example, enjoy, understand, be like. Adjectives. The simplest definition of an adjective is a word that describes or clarifies a noun. Adjective describe noun by providing some information about the size of an object, shape, age, color, origin, form, or material. Adverb. An adverb is a word or phrase that modifies or qualifies something. Adjective. Verb or other adverbs are groups of words that express a relationship of place, time, condition, manner, cause, degree, etc. For example, sometimes take it slow and be careful. Function words. Function words are the words we use to create sentences are grammatically correct. Pronoun, determiners, and preposition and auxiliary verbs are examples of function words. Additionally, sometimes we do things that deliberately push function words into the background almost as opposed to emphasizing them. A phrase is a group of words in English. A phrase can be short or long, but does not include the subject verb verbs necessary to make a clause. Therefore, a phrase is a group of words that does not have a finite verb in it and it to complete the sentence to make it meaningful. A phrase is a small group of words that form a unit of meaning in a clause. 1 noun phrase, 2 adjective phrase, 3 adverbial phrase, 4 prepositional phrase, 5 conjunction phrase, 6 interjection phrase, 7 absolute phrase, 8 positive phrase, 9 participial phrase, 10 gerund phrase, 11 infinitive phrase. Clause. Definition of clause according to Richard Platt and Weber. A clause is a group of words that form a grammatical unit and contains a subject and a finite verb. The clause forms a sentence or part of a sentence and often function as a noun or adjective adverb. A clause is a group of words that contain a subject and a predicate. clause can be sentence independent clause or sentence like contraction within another sentence dependent or subordinate clause. Type of clause. There are several types of clause as follows: 1. Independent clause. 2. Adjectival clause. 3. Adverbial clause. 4. Noun clause. 5. Conditional clause. 6. Coordinate clause. Sentence. Sentence definition. A sentence is the largest grammatical unit that contains word classes such as noun, verb, adverb, and uses grammatical cases such as word, phrase, and clauses. The standard definition of a sentence is a collection of words that contain a subject and predicate and express a thought as a whole. But for this definition to be useful, you must be able to recognize subject and predicate and understand what is meant by complete thought. A sentence has a subject. What or who the sentence is about, and a predicate. The predicate tells what the subject did or what was done to the subject. The book were left outside. The simple subject is a noun or pronoun. The complex subject is this noun or pronoun and the word that modify it. The simple predicate is a verb or verb phrase. Has, walk, will, walk. A complete predicate is a verb or verb phrase and the word that modify or complete it. The type of sentence based on internal structure. Complete sentence, incomplete sentence, based on the response. Common sentence, imperative sentence, interrogative sentence. Based on action, active and passive. Based on the French, affirmative sentence, negative sentence. Based on number of clauses, simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence. Sentence structure, phrase structure, roles. Grammatical function. The grammatical function indicates that in a particular clause, the verb can be considered as the head controlling the rest of the main phrase. Two sets of concepts relate to the relationship between the verb in a clause and its complement. The first is a set of grammatical function or grammatical relation, namely subject, direct object, indirect object or second object, and oblique object, and the other is a set of roles such as agent and function. The first three terms are usually familiar to anyone who has studied the foreign language, typically offered at English, French, German, Spanish, and Latin school. These terms are always used in grammar from various parts of the world and have been applied for centuries in the study of European language. It has not been easy to define this concept in and it remains to be determined whether they can be applied to language whose grammar is very different from English. Subject: the most complex grammatical function is the subject function. Morphosynthetic properties: there are two semantic properties. One of them is a grammatical subject that usually refers to an agent. The second is that they refer to entities that exist independently of the action or state denoted by the main verb, whereas there are many verbs whose direct object do not have this property. For example, in Scarlett, Mason built the central tower in less than a year. The immediate object, the central tower, denotes an entity that does not exist independently of the action for the simple reason that it was created by the activity of the building. Note that the passive clause, the central tower was built by skilled mason in less than a year, does not contradict what has just been said. The central tower is of course a subject and represents an entity created by building activity, but its passive construction is not fundamental. Direct object. The concept of direct object is as broad as the concept of subject and has been a tradition for a long time. However, it also trans oblique object and indirect object. Recent work in syntax deploys the concept of oblique objects. In English, any noun phrase that is the complement of a preposition is an oblique object, where the prepositional phrase itself is a complement to the verb. Phrases like "wenzin" used to be analyzed as containing indirect object nouns. But this concept of indirect object is problematic. English grammar refers only to verb which ever in the contraction v, NV1 to NV2, or P and P2 NV1 compare Celia gap to curve bin versus Celia gap bin where the car is NV1 and base is NV2. Indirect objects are said to be noun phrases phrased by two, and the relevant verbs are listed one by one or divided into classes labeled verbs or speech, verbs, objecting, and so on. To avoid the label object, indirect is assigned to phrases such as to Dande in he went to Dande. In fact, it is difficult to separate indirect object from adverb of direct. It is sometimes suggested that the two can be distinguished on the group. I made this project to fulfill my final semester exam score in the syntax course.